Hello and welcome back to my latest episode of my knitting podcast. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for your lovely comments under my last video. I told you it would take me a little time to come back, so it didn't come as a surprise, but here I am, and I thought I could show you some of my latest finished objects and my project that I'm working on, just because I have a bit of time today. And the weather's nice, it's not too gloomy, and why not? The first finished object is the one that I'm wearing most of the times. This is the Suri tee by Caidree. It is a lovely drop shoulder t-shirt, basically, and it has a split hem on the side. There you go. More like a basic t-shirt, but it is super nice. It wears really well. I used the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the color Rhabarbersaft, which means rhubarb juice, and I used exactly 3 skeins, so I have 1 gram left, just a tiny little end here. So I'm really happy because, well, I love when I don't have any leftovers from a project. I knitted the second size, and I'm not quite sure which needle size I used, but you'll be able to see that on my Ravelry page. I've put all the information there. I knitted the t-shirt to the pattern. The only thing that I omitted is the tubular bind-off, just because, for 2 reasons. So first of all, it didn't look quite nice. I tried it in this yarn and I just couldn't make it look nice. I would have had to make the 2x2 tubular bind-off, and I just couldn't get it to work. And then also I was a little bit under time pressure because I was finishing this one quite late at the test knit, so I didn't want to spend so much time doing that. And I'm quite happy with the normal bind-offs. I don't mind them. Obviously sometimes they do make a difference, but in this case I'm really happy with that, and I would do it again that way. I don't regret not doing the tubular bind-off. The yarn is amazing, I love it. It's the first time that I'm actually knitting with the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. It wears really well, it's so light. It's not like when I'm wearing it, I don't feel like I'm wearing something, basically. It's just super, super comfortable. So the only thing is I can tell that it starts pilling a little bit, so I will probably have to depill it at some point, but that's fine. I mean, normally if you have like some really fine fiber, that happens, so I don't mind doing that. Yeah, so overall super happy with this project, and I totally can recommend knitting this one. There is another version coming out in like a V-neck. So I'm waiting for this one to be released, and then I will be casting off on another version of this, probably in like a, I can see it like in a sagey green or something. I think that would look really nice in the summer, or maybe even like a beige kind of neutral tone that could work well when I'm a little bit more tanned in the summer. Definitely another pattern that I would like to knit. And that's it for the Suri tee by Caidree. The second finished object is the Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate Franz. It's another test knit that I finished recently, and this one is, well, you probably know that I love Lily's patterns, and this is no exception. So this is a very lovely cardigan. It's got this really nice shoulder detail, and it has a lot of nice details. I think that's what makes it special. You can probably see quite a lot of these kind of cardigans on Ravelry, but this one really stands out with the little details, and it's really thought through. As always, Lily's patterns just make sense. If you ever knit one of her patterns, you will know what I'm talking about. It has this super lovely double knit bottom band, which does take a lot of time to knit, I'm not gonna lie, but the result is just beautiful. And I like how the button band, so the buttonholes are just like worked in straight away. And yeah, I was a really bad test knitter, so I decided for a little while I'm not going to do another test knit, just because I was so terrible in my last few test knits. But I finished this one late, so I just bought the pattern because I love it so much, and I thought, well, I didn't really test knit, I just knitted it very slowly amongst the test knitters. And by the time I had finished it, the pattern was already perfect. So actually most of the times if I test, or whenever I've test knitted for Lily, there was never like a big mistake in any of her patterns. It's been always almost like the finished pattern. Her patterns are just really, really great. So for this one I used the Loch Lomond Bio by Big Segan. It is a super lovely soft, like 100% wool. It's 50 grams or 150 meters, and oh my god, it softens up so much. I want to knit something else out of this yarn. The only thing is, I went and had a look at the colors, and they're not just quite... Well, I think I have to see them in person to see whether I like one of the other colors. I think I really loved the silver, so the grey version. Lily made her sample as well in the same color, and that was my favorite colors of all the colors that they had. So I might have another look, and I might make another cardigan out of this yarn. For full transparency, I had a discount code for this one because I was part of the test knitters, so I ordered this one at a Tangled Yarn in the UK, and it's one of my favorite yarn stores in the UK. I've ordered there quite a few times already, and the service has always been amazing. So if you're looking for a good yarn store, Tangled Yarn in the UK, it's close to Manchester. You can even make an appointment and go there. Otherwise you can just order online, and she ships really fast. She's got a really nice collection of yarns, and I totally can recommend. So I bought 9 skeins, which was one too many, because I wasn't too sure which size I would be knitting, and I ended up using exactly 8 skeins. So I've got a little bit left here. What did I say? I think that's like 5 grams or something. So it worked out pretty well. In this pattern, it is important that you get row gauge as much as you have to get stitch gauge, because the pattern is described as well in rows. So you're knitting a certain amount of rows. If you're adjusting the length, then you would need to get more yarn, obviously. So I'm really happy that it worked out and I didn't run out of yarn, but I was well prepared, so I could have used more yarn. Overall, I really like the fit. I think the length is perfect as well. I've been wearing it a lot already. It's like perfect when I go on trips for work. I can just put it in my suitcase, and then it's so comfy and lovely, and I can wear it in the evenings or when I'm out and about. So, and it looks quite nice as well. It looks completely, I would say, store-bought, which I love. So when I love when my knits look like they're not handmade, if you know what I mean. I had to go down a needle size, which is not very common. Normally I have very close to Lily's gauge, so I used 3.75 millimeter needles, and that's basically everything about this cardigan. It does take a fair amount to knit, so like a lot of time. It is a lot of knitting. A lot of test knitters were saying that, but I think the result is absolutely worth it. I would love to have another one in a different color. Maybe I can convince myself at some point during the day, during the year, to maybe knit another one, maybe in a black, or yeah. I think this was exactly what I needed in my wardrobe, like a basic cardigan that looks really nice. If you're wondering where my buttons are from, they're also from Tangled Yarn, so I ordered them from there as well. It might be actually that Lily used the same ones as well. I might have copied that as well. I'm not too sure. Yeah, so that's all about the Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate France. The next finished object is one that I finished good, well, probably in December. Yeah, I finished this one in December. But because I didn't film over the winter time, I wasn't really podcasting at that time, I have never shown it to you in a finished state, so I thought I would dig it out of not my closet but my boyfriend's closet, because he got this one as a present. He usually gets a sweater for his birthday. It's like become like a tradition over the last years. And this year, so the last few years, he's always gotten an Icelandic style sweater, like a lopapeysa with like color work. But this year I thought I would knit him a cardigan, because he always goes to shops and buys these super lovely knitted cardigans. So I thought, well, I can make something like that. So it took me some time to choose the pattern, and then it took me also some time to find the yarn. So first of all, I decided on a pattern. I found the Olympia cardigan by Cheryl Toy. It's a design that was published by Hudson & West, which is a yarn company. And then I went to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. There we go. I went to Rhinebeck last year and I searched for some yarn. And then I found it at Harrisville Designs. So I chose the Highland yarn, which is here. There we go, that's the Highland. And the colorway is russet. And it is super nice. A really good find. And here it is. I hope that you can see it. I hope it's not too dark. It is this full, well, it's completely like a cabled sweater, or sorry, cardigan. It's double-breasted. It's got these lovely buttons that I found here in Reykjavik. And the whole back is also full of cables. Whew, this was so much work, you can't imagine. So this design is knit in pieces, which is not my favorite thing to do, to be honest. But yeah, I only figured it out once I had already bought the yarn. I didn't really read the pattern description that well. And at the end of the day, it worked out quite well. But honestly, the work that went into the sweater was quite a lot. So I probably next winter, he's gonna get a simple, I don't know, stockinette sweater. Something really simple. I'm not too sure if I can do this again. This was just a lot of work, and I remember how my arms were hurting after all these cables. So I don't think that I will be knitting a full like a cardigan full of cables again in that size. It just took so much time. Luckily my boyfriend is not like huge, so it does take some time to open all the buttons, which I know he doesn't like, because I forbid him to open to just get into it like a sweater. I don't want the buttonholes to loosen up too much. So I'm gonna put this on for you so you can have a look. Overall, I think it looks so nice. It's really comfy and cozy. It is quite warm. As you put it, it's backed. It's like a worsted weight woolen spun yarn, which is good because, I mean, luckily it is woolen spun, so it's not too heavy, but it is warm, I would say. It's definitely like a winter cardigan. I'm not going to close them all, but just so you get an idea. I think I might have to steal it a couple of times. This is actually quite nice to wear. He has asked me if I could put another button somewhere up here, because the collar is kind of open and doesn't lie that well. I'm not sure whether I blocked it out too much, but I will have to put another button up here. So I bought one extra button that I have, I think, sewn into the body of the sweater somewhere. Can't remember where it is. So I will have to just like make a little loop probably here and then just close it like that, so he can wear it a little bit further closed. But other than that, I think this was a full success. And I can recommend knitting the pattern. The pattern is pretty spot on. I think there's one small mistake, but I I put the info about the pattern onto my Ravelry page, and if you're knitting this one as well, you can just have a look. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's just like one little tiny little mistake, or maybe it's not a mistake, maybe I just got it wrong. I do sometimes understand them wrong. And yeah, so I've put in a little label here in Icelandic, and I can't remember, I think it said something like in every stitch is made out of love or something. Found that in a local yarn store here. And yeah, this is the finished Olympia by Cheryl Toy, and I'm super proud of this one. This is basically, if people ask me like, so what kind of sweaters do you knit? I usually show them a picture of that. And then most of the times I'm knitting something simple like the Suri tee. But they don't know. Nobody knows. These are all my finished objects. I have one project on my needles actively. Well, I have to have a lot of whips on my needles, and I'm actually running out of cables. So once I have finished filming this episode, I will be going to yarn store and I'm gonna buy some more cables, because yeah, I'm constantly searching cables to put my needles on. So the work in progress that I'm working on at the moment is another Abydos, but this one is the Abydos sweater and not the tee. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. So maybe if I hold it a little bit against the white wall. There you go, you can see the details. So I finished the round yoke and now I'm just working on the body. It's just plain stockinette for about 30 centimeters or a little bit less. So super easy and super quick to knit. I'm using 4mm needles for this sweater, and the main yarn that I'm using, so the black, is the Double Sunday by Sandnes Garn, and then the mohair is the long lace in black. Actually, I didn't went for the full black. I thought I bought the full black, and then I went to a yarn shop the other day and I saw that they had even like darker black, but I'm quite happy. You can't really tell, so I'm gonna leave it like it is. And if you're knitting this the Abydos sweater or the top, the good thing is that you only need like a tiniest amount of mohair, so you can easily just like grab a scrap, like a leftover that you have in your stash. So you're using about 5 grams for the yoke. So really just a small amount. And I've knit this the Abydos top already 3 times. I kept 2 versions. I gave one version to one of my sisters, and so I'm gonna make this one for myself. I figured I really would like to have something darker and like knit in like black for myself, and I know that the fit will be great since I've knitted the tops already. So I bought the Double Sunday to make a sweater out of it. And I believe if you want to buy both patterns in a bundle, I think Lily has some sort of discount on her Ravelry page, but you might want to check that out. I love the Abydos tops that I've knitted. Well, otherwise I wouldn't have knit 3 already. So I might make another one. So I have enough yarn to make another Abydos top in black, but I'm actually thinking of making another poisoned apple top, because that has actually become a real wardrobe staple. So very often when I go out for like drinks with friends or like go out for dinner or something, I very often end up wearing my poisoned apple top in white. and I might knit another one in black. But I'm not too sure if my yarn is enough, so I decided to first finish the Abydos sweater and see how much double Sunday I have left over, and then knit the poisoned apple top again. That's all for my active whips. I don't have that many updates, to be honest, as I mentioned before, I think, or maybe I have not. But yeah, I've just been working a fair amount. In my last episode I told you that I worked on a promotion which I got, so I have been just settling into my new role, which took me a little while, but I'm finally getting there. And other than that, I've been really enjoying the spring weather. I want to say summer weather, because officially the summer has begun in Iceland. So we had the first day of summer on April 20th, and then I think on April 26th or April 27th we had snow. Lovely. Yeah. But apparently that's something that happens often here. Normally, or very often, it snows on the first day of summer, so we got away quite well. We had really lovely weather on the first day of summer, but then later on during the week it snowed again, and I mean, we already all took our winter tires off the cars and stuff, so luckily it didn't stay for long. I was on a work trip most of the time when we had snow, so I avoided it to a good part. And now it's starting to feel a little bit warmer, so it's weird. It's still about 5-6 degrees during the day, but it just feels warmer, and you can see that like the flowers are growing, and yeah, people are spending more time outside, me included. So today is a day off, and I'll be working over the next I think 4 days, and so I enjoyed my day. So my morning today I went for a long run. I went for like an hour's run, trying to get back into running, because I like running in the summer, but I'm not so much of a winter runner. So whilst the weather lasts, I'm gonna try to yeah, go for runs. And besides of that, there's not much really happening. I'm going on vacation in about 10 days, so I'm really excited for that. It's the first proper summer vacation since 2019. So first time really back on the beach. I can't wait, it's gonna be so nice. I've been thinking about what kind of knitting projects I'm taking, because I will be having a lot of time to knit. So I'm trying to figure which projects are like the best to take. I want to take a lot of like mindless projects as well, so I can just relax and not think too much about what I'm knitting. But yeah, that's something that I've been thinking about. And yeah, I think that's all for this episode. I have another episode coming out hopefully very soon. I have a collaboration lined up that is coming, I think, in May. So hopefully I will manage to get the things that I need for the collaboration before I leave for my vacation, and then I can show you a little teaser before I go, and then I'll show you more after the vacation. But that's something that's coming up. But besides of that, I'm just taking it easy at the moment. I'm just trying as well to use some yarn that I have in my stash. I do have a lot of my stash, so I'm trying to do my best to yeah, pick some projects that I can just basically start straight away, like I did with my Abydos sweater, since I bought this yarn last year and really wanted to knit this one. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for spending some time with me here today. I hope you enjoyed my projects. Hopefully you found them a little bit inspiring. You can always find all the information about them on my Ravelry pages if you have some further questions, or you can always message me. I'm not always the best in getting back to messages straight away, but I do my best. And yeah, I hope you're well. I hope you're having fun, whatever you're knitting, crocheting, or crafting. And then I see you very soon again in my next episode. Thank you and bye bye.